bit on Elon Musk for folks that may not know who he is or what he's done. He's, in a nutshell, a super genius. He was the creator and CEO of PayPal, which I'm sure most folks are familiar with. It's the method of securely transferring money online using just someone's email address. Nowadays we have, a bunch of other versions of like Venmo or Zeal or QuickPay. PayPal was the OG of all that shit. PayPal paved the road for that. So like he revolutionized space travel. He revolutionized the way financial interactions are done online on the internet. One of the most popular endeavors that he's known for is Tesla, the automobile and auto manufacturing company. He is the CEO and product architect of it, through which he absolutely revolutionized the electric vehicle industry. Another venture of his, probably less known than most of the others, is Solar City, which he co-founded and has since been acquired by Tesla itself. He was a creator of solar panels and battery backup services. In 2015, for example, Solar City is responsible for installing 870 megawatts of solar power, which was approximately at the time 28% of all solar installation in the entire United States. Even lesser known than that venture, but in my opinion just as impressive, is the Boring Company, which he's the founder of as well. It's a company that's looking to create high-speed underground railways available to the public via an invention of his called Hyperloop, which is an ultra-high-speed underground public transportation system in which passengers are transported on autonomous electric pods traveling 600 plus miles per hour in a pressurized cabin. So you're going to get into this little pod underground and be shot 600 miles per hour to your destination. And he actually has approvals for like this specifically, like the Boring Company. I believe the California state government approved and gave like permits for him to start digging, which I believe the Boring Company has, to create the first tunnel between Los Angeles and San Francisco, which, if successful, will be the fastest mode of transportation between those two destination points. Fucking sick shit. This is all the same guy, by the way. And then one of his other ventures, probably, I don't want to say most impressive because then I think of the others and they're like just as impressive, and it's almost like if any person had any one of these ideas and told it to you before they came into fruition, it would sound like something out of a science fiction novel, and it would sound like bullshit. Like if somebody told you, oh, I'm going to create this company that's going to shoot rockets into space, and my goal is through innovation, the prices are going to come down, and then we're going to be able to go to places like the moon and Mars again and stuff like that. It's going to be like, all right, buddy, relax. Like the government handles rocket ships and space exploration. Oh, and by the way, my rocket ship is going to go into space and then come back automatically and land in the same exact spot that it lifted off from. And that's going to make it so much cheaper because we're going to be able to reuse the same thing. It's like, all right, relax, buddy. Like, what the fuck are you smoking? Or if somebody comes to you with the idea of implementing this Hyperloop idea where they say, oh, I'm going to dig tunnels under the ground between cities and create a mechanism by which people are going to be able to get into pressurized cabins and travel at 600 plus miles per hour underground. So be like, all right, yeah, sure. I'm sure that's going to happen. Then fast forward, and government agencies in California have already given approvals for this. Or if somebody came to you pre-Tesla and said, hey, you know what? I'm going to make electric cars actually feasible and cool, and people are going to want them. And I'm going to make the technology open source so all other car companies can borrow from it and implement that technology into their own vehicles. And it was, yeah, okay, sure, keep dreaming. Fast forward, Tesla is one of the most profitable car companies ever, completely revolutionized the space, and other companies are falling in line and investing that much more in the electric vehicle space and borrowing from their technology. And I say all that before I introduce this next venture of Elon's, because it sounds like the craziest to me of all. But then given that track record, I'm like, gotta give the guy benefit of the doubt. at this point, right? So this other venture is called Neuralink. And the company, as I've heard Elon describe it, will essentially be drilling a small hole into the head of a human being, implanting a very small chip, for lack of a better word, into your brain through hair-like tentacles. I don't even know if that's a word, but I'm trying to describe it the way I'm visualizing it and the way I'm trying to like paraphrase his description of it. Then seal your head back up and you have these like hair-like tentacles sticking out of your head, just like your hair, very thin, tiny strands that can be connected to external devices via Bluetooth or I guess directly, that will create an interface with your brain. So the goal of the company, the aim of the company, is to create these devices that are at first and in the short term, and he described this is how you make it feasible to the marketplace, if you will, or create a marketplace, is via the healthcare system, the healthcare industry. The aim is to have these devices treat serious brain diseases in the short term. So things like attempting to reverse Alzheimer's and dementia and brain atrophy due to things like strokes and aneurysms, and reversing blindness and trying to get people that can't walk anymore to be able to walk again or to move certain limbs again, etc., etc., etc. Which in and of itself, if that's even possible, it's fucking godlike amazing to me. But this is all the short-term goal. The long-term goal of Neuralink is the eventual goal of human enhancement, meaning Matrix type shit. So you want to learn Kung Fu or some shit, upload that shit into your brain. Now, I'm being slightly facetious, but he did say some like cyborg sounding shit, like not needing, quote unquote, to speak to people verbally anymore after the advent of this, because you can just communicate like through this shit, like through your thoughts, I guess, like read each other's thoughts. He made it sound a little less creepy when he compared it to, for example, like Googling something right now, like you grab your phone, like everybody always has like a device on them, like their phone, for example, and or their laptop or an iPad, and you look shit up that you want to know, questions that you have. Now you have the same exact ability, except instead of the device being in your pocket and in your hand, it's implanted in your brain, and you just look it up that way, like through thought. It's a fucking insane shit. And he's such a visionary. He's such a super genius with an extremely accomplished track record that I don't put it past him pulling something like this off. Elon's an absolute fucking visionary. He's not even a national treasure. I would say he's a fucking world treasure. And I hope that his level of genius doesn't fucking make him go crazy sooner than later or some shit like that, so that he can continue doing what he does. What's crazy to me too, about just thinking of it logically, with given that track record that Elon has, what I can't wrap my head around is the naysayers and like haters and shit like that pounce on situations. For example, like when Tesla stock dipped when Elon was on Rogan's podcast and he smoked some weed, and market speculation, the markets went like nuts, and then, by the way, after all that bullshit, the stock rebound and went higher than it's ever been. But I'm speaking more to like the speculation of, oh my god, is Elon off the rails? Is Elon Musk done? Is it over? Is Tesla gonna crash? It's like, first off, Elon has literally said, he's quoted in saying in interviews, you can look it up right now, that Tesla stock is overpriced, that no financial metric that anyone can point to can corroborate the inflated price of Tesla stock. Him, the CEO of the company, is literally saying, my stock is overpriced. People are overpaying for this stock, but I'll take it. You know what I mean? But this motherfucker is literally focusing on making the human race an interplanetary species. Literally wants human beings to be able to live on other planets other than Earth. That is his vision. That is his goal. While also apparently turning us into cyborgs in the process. And I say that to say, let the man create, let him innovate, let him continue to change the world as we know it, and to work towards that.